The movie begins with Sophia, a brilliant founder and CEO of her own fashion company. Now, even though she's the boss, Sophia isn't your typical, unapproachable executive. She's known as an open-minded leader who genuinely values her employees' ideas, firmly believing that inspiration can spark from anyone, not just the people sitting in the boardroom. On the flip side of the world, we meet Max. Max is an incredibly talented chef working at a restaurant owned by a guy named Chef Antoine. Max is a wizard in the kitchen, and his recipe creating skills are seriously top-notch. But whenever Max creates a masterpiece, Antoine swoops in and shamelessly claims all the credit in front of the customers. Max is frustrated, but he keeps his disappointment bottled up inside. Back to Sophia. We find her on a tense phone call with her ex-husband, Mario. Mario isn't just an ex, he's also one of the major shareholders in Sophia's company. He drops a bombshell. He's planning to sell all of his shares to a rival fashion company. Sophia desperately tries to talk him out of it. If those shares change hands, she loses full control of her company, especially since the buyer would then hold an equal share of the power. But Mario won't budge. He's all about the numbers, and in his eyes, Sophia's company hasn't shown enough profit growth recently. The very next day, Sophia calls an emergency meeting with her team. Her trusted right-hand woman, Miranda, delivers the grim reality. Out of the 8 board members, 3 have already sided with Mario. 1 member, Cassandra, is staying neutral, leaving 4 members who haven't picked a side yet, including a key player named Fumiko. To sell his shares, Mario needs a 2/3 majority. That means Sophia still has a fighting chance if she can win over those final 4 votes. Knowing she has to act fast, Sophia decides to meet Fumiko face to face. The only problem? Fumiko is currently in Fiji. Sophia orders Miranda to book the earliest possible flight out that same day. Meanwhile, Max is out shopping at the local market when he bumps into his good friend, Julian. Julian, who is also in the culinary scene, drops some exciting news. He knows a tech entrepreneur who is looking to invest in new culinary ventures. Knowing Max's incredible talent, the investor is interested in funding Max so he can finally open his own restaurant. Julian invites Max to meet the investor, who just so happens to be in Fiji right now. Max hesitates, still scarred by a past business failure, but eventually, he agrees to go. When Max and Julian arrive at the airport, things get weird. Julian asks Max to wear a sharp suit. It turns out, Julian managed to score a private jet charter for the trip, but they don't have a flight attendant. Julian begs Max to play the role of temporary cabin crew for the flight. Max reluctantly agrees, only to discover that the person who chartered the jet is none other than Sophia. Despite it definitely not being his actual job, Max tries his best to serve Sophia during the flight. But as they approach Fiji, the plane hits severe, violent turbulence. The cabin shakes uncontrollably. A panicked Sophia demands that Max initiate emergency procedures. In the chaos, Max is forced to confess that he isn't a real flight attendant, he's a chef. As the weather violently worsens, Julian, who is piloting the plane, is forced to make a terrifying emergency landing right in the middle of the ocean. When Sophia finally regains consciousness, she finds herself stranded on a deserted beach alongside Max, Julian, and the co-pilot, Lance. Julian admits the terrifying truth. He has no idea what their exact coordinates are. Sophia explodes in anger, and both she and Max start blaming Julian for the disastrous flight. Julian tries to keep the peace, assuring them that a rescue team will come. But Lance delivers a harsh reality check. They have crashed near a remote, uninhabited island. With thousands of tiny islands scattered around Fiji, finding them will be like finding a needle in a haystack, especially since the plane sank and the distress signal transmitter is completely dead. Still, Julian tries to stay positive, believing they can survive on the few supplies they manage to salvage. Julian and Lance decide to hike up a nearby hill to look for any signs of civilization. While they're gone, Sophia opens her salvaged suitcase. Inside is the exclusive clothing collection she was planning to pitch to Fumiko. Max, completely misreading the situation, makes a sarcastic joke, assuming she's just some small-time clothes peddler. Sophia quickly shuts him down, making it crystal clear that she owns a major fashion company and is fighting for its survival because the livelihoods of all her employees depend on her. Julian and Lance return with some news. They spotted another island to the west. They plan to take the small emergency life raft and row over to look for help, because the tiny boat isn't strong enough to carry all four of them through the rough, crashing waves. Max and Sophia are told to stay behind and wait on the beach. After Julian and Lance row away, Max gets to work. Hoping a plane might fly overhead, he uses whatever debris he can find to spell out a massive help sign on the sand. As the sun begins to set with no sign of rescue, Sophia asks Max to build a makeshift shelter. Luckily, Max managed to save a bag of his professional kitchen knives, which they used to chop down bamboo. Lacking rope to tie the bamboo together, Sophia makes a sacrifice, tearing up pieces from her precious fashion collection to use as bindings. As they sit by the fire in their newly built hut, the uncertainty of their survival hangs heavy in the air. Max tries to lighten the mood by asking Sophia how she got into the fashion industry. Sophia shares that it all started with her mother teaching her how to sew. That simple hobby blossomed into a passion, leading her to build her entire company from the ground up. She explains that after marrying Mario, she held the majority of the shares, but now he is trying to sell them out from under her. Sophia then asks Max about his journey. He explains his deep-rooted love for cooking, which led him to work for the arrogant chef Antoine. He also opens up about his past, admitting he once opened his own restaurant. But due to his poor management skills, it ended in total bankruptcy. That night, a heavy rainstorm rolls in. Julian and Lance are still dangerously drifting in the rough ocean, while Max and Sophia huddle together under their fragile bamboo shelter, anxiety keeping them awake. When morning finally breaks, Sophia wakes up first. She quietly watches Max sleep, realizing that she genuinely admires his calm demeanor and positive mindset, despite their terrifying situation. Elsewhere, Julian and Lance's gamble pays off. They manage to wash ashore on another beach and finally make contact with a local resident. But back on the deserted island, things take a turn for the worse for Max and Sophia. The high tide has swept away their meager supply of food and fresh water. Remembering that Julian mentioned seeing a river mouth nearby, Max suggests they trek into the dense jungle to find water. The jungle proves to be unforgiving. During their hike, they are suddenly startled by a large snake, causing them both to trip and fall in a panic. Meanwhile, back in the United States, Miranda is holding a tense meeting with the company executives, including Mario. Hearing the shocking news that Sophia's plane went missing, Mario agrees to halt the sale of his shares. Finding Sophia is now their absolute top priority. Miranda immediately books a flight to Fiji to personally oversee the search and rescue operations. By this time, Julian and Lance have joined the official search efforts, flying over the ocean in a rescue helicopter. But because they don't know the exact coordinates of the island, they left Max and Sophia on. The search is proving incredibly difficult. Back on the island, Max and Sophia are forced to adapt. They awkwardly attempt to spear fish in the shallow waters, proving that neither of them is cut out for wilderness survival. Every single task is a massive challenge, but eventually, their efforts pay off. That night, they manage to cook the fish Max speared. It's a simple meal of grilled fish, but after starving all day, it feels like a feast. Sitting by the campfire, the tension between them begins to melt away, replaced by a comfortable, peaceful silence. The next morning, Miranda arrives in Fiji and immediately links up with Julian to get updates on the search. On the island, Max and Sophia are actually finding ways to enjoy their isolation. They pass the time playing tic-tac-toe in the sand. Even though they are still stranded, the warmth between them is growing undeniable. When Sophia accidentally sprains her ankle, Max doesn't hesitate for a second. He scoops her up and carries her. Later, he ventures into the forest to forage for wild herbs to season their food. But while foraging, Max makes a chilling discovery: a human skull hidden in the brush. It's a grim reminder that this island has claimed lives before, and survival is not guaranteed.